Have you ever felt like your body is trying to tell you something, but the message is muffled? Maybe it starts with a quiet stiffness in the morning, a slow, reluctant bend when you try to tie your shoes, or that familiar groan in your back when you stand up after sitting too long. And you think it's just age, so you live with it. You adjust. You cope. But what if I told you there are small, natural things you can start doing today that could ease that pain, support your spine, and bring back just a little more freedom into your days? Not with pills, not with expensive procedures, but with food. Yes, food. 3 simple ingredients that you can find in any grocery store that quietly, powerfully help your back feel better from the inside out. This isn't just about pain relief. It's about strength, stability, comfort, and dignity. If you're over 60 or love someone who is, this video is for you. Because back pain isn't just physical. It steals your sleep. It shortens your walks. It makes you feel older than you are. But there is hope, and there is help, right in your kitchen. So stay with me till the end. You'll not only learn what to eat, but why it works and how it can gently fit into your life. And if you care about your health or someone else's, hit that subscribe button, because we talk about what others often ignore. Quiet topics, hidden pain, and how to bring light into aging, not fear. Let's begin, because your spine has carried you through life. Now it's time to carry it with care. There's a kind of silence that lives in the back. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention like a broken bone or a high fever. No, back pain is different. It whispers. It lingers. It waits. It shows up in the smallest of ways. You lean over the sink to wash your face and wince. You try to lift a bag of groceries and freeze halfway. You roll over in bed and suddenly feel older than you ever have. And still, most people just shrug and say, that's life. As if pain is a price you're forced to pay for growing older. But the truth is more complicated and more hopeful. Pain isn't always a punishment. Sometimes it's a message, a signal, a quiet request from your body. Please support me. Let's talk about why your back hurts in the first place. Because understanding it, really understanding it, is the first step toward easing it. You see, your spine is not just a column of bones. It's a living, moving, breathing system. It holds everything together, not just physically, but emotionally too. And like any system that works hard every day, it wears. After the age of 50 or 60, the wear starts to show. The soft, spongy discs between your vertebrae, they start to dry out. They lose fluid, shrink down, become less cushioned. Imagine the padding in your shoes slowly thinning with each step. That's what happens inside your spine, quietly year after year. And then there are the muscles. Your back has over 140 of them, large and small, deep and superficial. And if you've spent years sitting or carrying stress in your shoulders or simply moving less than you used to, those muscles get tight or weak or both. They don't hold you the way they once did. Add to that the pull of gravity, the stiffness in your hips, the tension in your neck, and suddenly your spine is working overtime with half the support. But there's one more piece that most people never talk about. Inflammation. That word gets thrown around a lot these days, but what does it really mean? Inflammation is your body's way of responding to stress, injury, or imbalance. It's like a tiny fire inside your tissues, a necessary response in small doses. But as we age, especially with poor diet, stress, lack of movement, that fire never quite goes out. It smolders in your joints, in your muscles, around your nerves. And when it comes to your back, that means pain. It means stiffness that won't stretch away, a heaviness that sleep doesn't cure. But here's the beautiful thing about the human body. It responds. It heals when given the chance. And sometimes the quietest healing comes not from medicine, but from what you put on your plate. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how certain foods make you feel heavy, sluggish, sore the next morning, and others light, strong, steady? That's not in your head. Food is information. Every bite tells your body something. Some foods say, inflame. Others say, repair. And when it comes to your back, the difference matters more than you think. Because while your doctor might offer pills to dull the pain or injections to block it, Those solutions treat the symptom. But if you want to help your back from the inside out, to actually support the tissues, the discs, the bones, the nerves, you need to go deeper. And the good news? You don't need to overhaul your whole diet. You don't need to count calories or cut out everything you love. You just need to add a few things in. The right things. The things your spine remembers, even if you've forgotten. In just a moment, we'll talk about those 3 foods, the heroes of this story. But before we go there, I want to remind you, this isn't about perfection. It's not about never feeling pain again. It's about support, about turning toward your body, not away from it, about asking gently, what do you need? And then listening, because the truth is, your back doesn't hate you. It's not broken. It's not failing. It's tired. It's been carrying your weight and so much more for decades. It's carried grief, responsibility, hard work, sleepless nights, long days at the job, bending over for your children, then your grandchildren. Your back has lived your life with you, and now it needs you to live with it more gently. That begins with awareness, with understanding, with knowing that aging doesn't mean surrendering to pain. It means tending to yourself with the same care you've given others all your life. So if you felt that twinge, that tightness, that ache that won't leave, don't ignore it. Don't shame yourself for it. And most of all, don't lose hope, because your body is still listening, still responding, still waiting for you to choose kindness, one small habit at a time. And it can begin with what you eat next. In the next part, we'll talk about the first food your back is craving more than you know. We'll look at the science, the stories, and how one gentle change in your diet can become a powerful step toward comfort. So stay with me. Your spine will thank you, and your life might just get a little lighter. There's something almost sacred about a meal that nourishes more than just hunger. Something quiet happens when you sit down, take a bite, and feel not just full but restored. And when it comes to your back, one of the most powerful, natural restorers swims in the sea. Let's talk about fish. Not just any fish, but oily, cold water fish. Salmon, mackerel, herring. These aren't fancy, expensive luxuries. They're ancient foods. Foods your grandparents and their parents before them knew how to prepare with reverence. Because without knowing the science, they already understood the wisdom. You see, inside these fish lives something your spine longs for, even if you've never heard its name. Omega, 3 fatty acids, 3 simple letters, 1 powerful truth. Your back pain may not just be a matter of age. It may be inflammation asking to be calmed. Omega-3s are nature's anti-inflammatory messengers. They don't just mask pain. They soothe the tissues. They soften stiffness. They help repair the small, invisible damage that builds up over time. Picture the discs between your vertebrae, those little cushions that separate each bone. With age, they lose flexibility, dry out, shrink. But omega-3s? They support the soft tissues that wrap around those discs. They ease pressure on the nerves. They help your muscles function more smoothly. One study followed older adults who had chronic joint and back pain. Half of them added just 2 servings of fatty fish to their weekly meals. The other half didn't change a thing. 3 months later, those who ate the fish had 30% less pain. Not because of a drug, not because of surgery, because of food. Food that speaks your body's language. Let me tell you about Paul. He's 76, retired mechanic, back bent from years of lifting engines, leaning under cars, crawling across concrete floors. He always said pain was just part of the job. But now he just wants to walk to the park with his grandson without needing to sit halfway. His doctor suggested medication. He tried it. It numbed the pain, but left him groggy, foggy, not himself. Then his daughter said, "Dad, try grilled salmon twice a week." That's it. He shrugged. Why not? 2 weeks in, he noticed he could stand longer in the kitchen. By the end of the month, the tightness in his lower back eased. Not gone, but softer, manageable, lighter. He didn't need to feel 40 again. He just wanted to feel present again. And it started with a plate of fish. Now, if fresh salmon is too pricey, that's okay. Canned sardines? Great. Pickled herring? Perfect. Mackerel in olive oil? Even better. It's not about fancy. It's about consistency. 2 to 3 servings a week. That's all your spine is asking for. Want to boost it even more? Add a few slices of avocado on the side, another natural source of healthy fats. Sprinkle with a little turmeric, a spice known for its anti-inflammatory magic. And you've just turned your dinner into medicine, into healing, into self-respect on a plate. Now let's be real. This isn't a miracle. You won't wake up tomorrow pain-free. But over weeks and months, your tissues change. Your inflammation drops. Your movement returns. Your nights feel easier. Your days become yours again. And that's what we're after. Not perfection, but possibility. So if you've been skipping fish, thinking it's not worth the trouble, let this be your invitation. Let your next meal be a quiet act of care. Not for anyone else, just for your back, for the spine that's held you through so much. Because the food you eat can either feed the fire or put it out. And red fish, it's water on the fire, a gift from nature, for your bones, your nerves, your life. And if you're still with me, thank you. Because this isn't just education. This is transformation. Gentle, powerful, real. In the next part, we'll explore the second product, a humble food you probably have in your kitchen right now. Simple, soft, golden, and surprisingly effective at strengthening your spine. But make sure you stay until the final product. Because the third one, it's a secret that almost no one talks about. But it's real, natural gold for your back. And it might be the missing piece you've been searching for all along. Next product, eggs. There's something beautifully honest about an egg. No packaging, no label, no loud promises. Just quiet nutrition, wrapped in a fragile shell. It sits in your fridge like nothing special. Yet inside is a world of support your body still needs. Especially your back. Let's talk about eggs. Not in the trendy, modern way. Not with fancy omelets or complicated diets. Just eggs. Boiled, scrambled, poached, warm, familiar, comforting. And for your spine, more powerful than they look. You see, your back, every bone, every joint, every muscle, needs more than structure. It needs strength. It needs support. It needs connection between nerves and muscle fibers, fast communication between brain and body. And for that to happen, your body depends on something many people over 60 are quietly running low on. Vitamin D. This isn't just a sunshine vitamin. It's the silent architect of bone density, the hidden messenger for immune balance, the unsung hero in the battle against chronic pain. Without enough vitamin D, your muscles feel weaker, your bones become brittle, your nerves misfire, and pain, especially back pain, creeps in. Now, of course, the sun helps us make vitamin D naturally. But let's be honest, as we age, we're out in the sun less. We cover up, we protect our skin, and our bodies stop making what they once did with ease. That's where food must step in. And the egg? It's one of nature's best, simplest sources of vitamin D, tucked inside the yolk. But that's not all. Eggs also give you choline, a nutrient that supports the nervous system, muscle coordination, and memory. They give you protein, high-quality building blocks for your muscles and connective tissue. And they're easy to digest, gentle on the stomach, and incredibly versatile. Now let me tell you about Irene. She's 81, lives alone, used to skip breakfast, too tired in the mornings, not very hungry. Then her neighbor, a retired nurse, suggested something small. Just try 2 eggs in the morning. Boiled, nothing fancy. Irene smiled politely, but didn't expect much. The first week, she just felt a little fuller. The second week, she realized she wasn't holding onto the table quite as tightly when getting up. By the 4th week, her morning stiffness was noticeably lighter. Not gone, but easier, softer, livable. It wasn't magic. It was nourishment, real food, consistent care. Now, maybe you've heard myths about eggs, that they're bad for cholesterol, that older people should avoid them. But science has moved on. Modern research shows that for most people, moderate egg consumption is safe and beneficial. 2 eggs a day, a solid, natural way to feed your body what it actually remembers. The yolk is where the gold is. Vitamin D, choline, and other fat-soluble nutrients that help your bones and muscles speak the same language. So if your back feels tired, if your movements feel slower, if your strength feels a little lost, don't just stretch. Don't just rest. Feed yourself something simple. A warm egg, a slice of whole grain bread, a drizzle of olive oil, maybe a slice of tomato with sea salt. It's not a recipe. It's a ritual. One that says, I still care. I still matter. I still want to feel strong. Because dignity in aging doesn't come from trying to feel young. It comes from learning to support the body you have, as it is. And eggs? They meet you where you are. No effort. No struggle. Just quiet, nourishing strength. So if you've been skipping breakfast or grabbing something quick, slow down tomorrow. Take 10 minutes. Boil 2 eggs. And remind your spine, you're not forgotten. And if you're still watching, stay with me. Because the third food we're about to talk about is the most overlooked, underappreciated gift your back could ever receive. It's not trendy. It's not sold in health stores. It's ancient. It's powerful. And it's real gold for your spine. Don't miss it. Sometimes the answers are simmering quietly where we least expect them. The next product is one your grandmother probably knew by heart. Not from books, not from studies, not from the internet, but from watching, listening, caring. Gelatin or bone broth. Yes, the kind that simmers slowly on the stove. The kind that fills the house with warmth. The kind that doesn't shout but heals quietly, deeply over time. It may seem simple, old-fashioned even, but for your back, it's nothing short of gold. Let's break it down. Your spine isn't just made of bones. It's held together by ligaments, tendons, soft discs, cartilage, all built from collagen. And what is gelatin? It's pure collagen. Think of gelatin, or a rich, slow-cooked bone broth, as raw material for your spine. Not something that masks pain, but something that builds what's worn down. As we age, our body slows down its natural collagen production. That's why joints begin to creak. Why flexibility fades. Why movements feel more like effort than flow. Collagen is what makes the tissues soft, elastic, durable. It's what helps your spine stay aligned, cushioned, and supported. And gelatin, from simple broth or pure powder, is one of the best ways to restore it naturally. Let me tell you about Arthur. He's 78. Worked construction most of his life. Big hands, quiet voice. His back started aching in his late 60s, deep, heavy pain in the lower spine. Too stiff to bend. Too sore to sleep well. He tried creams, heating pads, stretching. They help a little. Then his daughter brought over a jar. Homemade bone broth. Beef bones, simmered for 12 hours with onion, garlic, and herbs. Dad, she said, just try a cup each night before bed. He did, not expecting much. But something happened. Not after the first cup. Not after the second. But by the end of the third week, he noticed something strange. He woke up and didn't immediately groan. He sat up and his back didn't scream. It was subtle, soft, real. That's what this kind of nourishment does. It doesn't perform a miracle. It doesn't erase pain, but lays the bricks for healing. It gives your body the tools it stopped making on its own. Now, you don't have to make broth from scratch. Though if you can, it's worth it. All you need is a few beef or chicken bones with a bit of cartilage if possible. Water, a splash of apple cider vinegar to help draw minerals from bones. Some onion, garlic, herbs. In time, 6 to 12 hours, simmered low and slow. Strain it, sip it warm like tea, or use it in soups and stews. Don't want to cook? You can find high-quality gelatin powder in stores, unsweetened, unflavored. Just add a spoon to your tea, warm water, or even porridge. It's not about recipes. It's about rituals, little acts of repair. Because every sip tells your spine, I remember you. I'm still helping you stand. I want you to carry me a little longer with less pain. One study followed people with chronic joint pain who took gelatin daily. After just 8 weeks, many reported improved mobility and less stiffness. Why? Because collagen supports the structure of the spine, the cushions, the connections. It's like reinforcing the beams of a house from the inside. And the warmth? That's not just in the broth. It's in what it symbolizes. Care, slowness, a return to what nourishes. So if your back feels tired, if it creaks when you rise, if you miss the days when you could bend, reach, twist without thinking, don't just reach for a pill. Reach for a cup. Fill it with something that's fed generations. something your body knows how to use, something that doesn't ask you to fight, only to receive. Because gelatin and bone broth aren't just food. They're memory, a return to a slower kind of healing. And now that you know about all three, salmon, eggs, and broth, you have tools. Not perfect solutions, not instant relief, but quiet helpers. And when used together, they create something powerful. A back that feels heard, a body that feels fed, a life that feels just a little easier to carry. Because that's what this is about. Not youth, not magic, but comfort, support, respect for the body that has carried you through so much. And that, my friend, is real gold. Not in a bottle, not in a commercial, but in the warmth of a meal, in the softness of movement, in the quiet joy of feeling just a little better today than yesterday. Let your healing begin there. Now, as we come to the end of this quiet journey together, let me remind you of something you may have forgotten. Not in your mind, but in your body. You're still worth taking care of. You're not just bones and joints, not just aches and pills and appointments. You are a whole person with stories in your spine, years in your shoulders, love in your hands. And yes, your back may hurt. Some mornings may feel heavier than others. But that pain is not the end of the story. It's a signal, a whisper, a soft reminder, please care for me. And you can, not through force, not through guilt, but through daily, nourishing acts of attention. A warm meal prepared with love. A cup of broth sipped slowly in the quiet of evening. 2 eggs on a plate beside the window. A fillet of fish served not as a cure, but as a comfort. These are not just nutrients. They're gestures, rituals, little ways of saying, I still matter. My comfort still matters. Because aging isn't about giving up. It's about tuning in to what's needed, to what helps, to what feels right now. So no, food alone will not erase your pain, but it can soften it, support you, give your body what it once had plenty of and now quietly longs for. And when paired with rest, movement, warmth, and self-respect, that nourishment becomes power. The power to stand straighter, to breathe deeper, to sleep more peacefully, to live with a little more ease and a little less fear. Your back has carried you through childhood, through work, through love, through loss. Let it feel your care in return. Thank you for staying with me to the end. That tells me something beautiful. You haven't given up. You're still listening. You're still choosing gentleness. If this video touched something in you, leave a comment below. Say, I'm ready, or still growing, or simply, thank you. And if you know someone whose back has grown weary with time, share this with them, like a soft hand on their shoulder, like a bowl of soup left at their door. Because in this world, we all carry something. Let's make sure no one carries it alone.